Okay, so I'm going to go over a few things. Crypto has been insane the past couple of days. I mean, the past week, 2 weeks, really. It's been crazy. They had the Saturday Night Live. Elon Musk hosted. Doge dumped. Well, I'm going to go over Doge. I'm going to go over. There's been a lot of talk about Cardano. I'll go over that. I did give an analysis last time, and then about a month ago. I'll do that again just to see where the price movement went. The week actually looks pretty good for that, and I said I actually really didn't care what the rest of the crypto market was. I was actually pretty bullish on Cardano anyway. If I was just looking at it independently, I was pretty bullish on it. So we'll look at that. We're going to look at gold and silver, and then I got a request to look at Planet Fitness. I did like a little write-up real quick, just some random stock to look at. So Bitcoin, where are we going? We can look at our moving averages. Those are actually good. This 3 MA is starting to go above the 8 MA, which means we're starting to get, we had our dip. The dip was what? Dip was total of 27.5%. That's pretty good. That's where, I said 15 to 25%. We went a little bit more. We did have a 31% drop before. I believe that was this here. Was it this one? This one. 26. Which one was it? I think it was this one. Yeah, 31 and a half. It looks like we're going to get, upward movement. If we get a daily close or a 4-hour close above this high right here from last week, 59,559, or the week that just closed, that's pretty much all go for, where's this channel at? Channel's pretty much there. So that's pretty much all go for the channel target, which would be right around 74,000, say 75. Where we might have some resistance here at 61.7, say 750. That would kind of be within, I think, the fudge factor of where we're at on the breakout, because that's like 3%, 2%. We can still see a sell-off here. Maybe it takes another couple more weeks, but this target kind of aligns. This could be like, we could get up to this target, the 74, 75,000. We could wick there and then see resistance here at this Fibonacci. Anything above that, I actually don't have a target for, and we would probably have to start analyzing the price to see where the upper targets were. Maybe I draw another Fibonacci based on some price movement that we have. So, okay, so that's that. Let's look at, so the moving averages on the whole look good. As long as we get a daily close or a 4-hour close above this 59,559, you can go all back in, or probably take out the all-time high within like 2 weeks of probably doing that. Let's look at I want to look at the hash rate real quick. I do know let's look at the funding rate. So the funding rate stayed positive. I wish this would have gone down a little bit. The market is pretty much net long. Here it's net long. Still, it was negative to neutral for a couple of days, and we got the price rally. 4 hours, net long. That's a nice reversal candle here. Oh, we have a 9 right here. I didn't need to mark that. When did that happen? This is a retest area. We'll probably have some resistance. This is going to be orange. Ironically, it's right here by the breakout area. So, I mean, this is heavy resistance here. So, I mean, we could break out here and then kind of mosey on. No, I mean, I think if we break around this channel, we're going to get upward movement. Let's see what the funding rate is on the short term, hourly. Yeah, I mean, positive. So on all time frames, market's net positive. But that doesn't mean we can't see a big price swing. I want to bring up this moving averages. We're right here, right almost above the 30 MA strategy, which we know works. On the 4-hour, we're right above it. Found support here, trending up. Daily, this is all starting to trend back up, which is good. This could be a W pattern, looks like. Or you could almost say a cup and handle. It'll most likely be a W pattern whenever this starts to play out within a channel. And then you could get up. So what would that be if that is a W pattern, as far as what the price target could be for that? That's going to be higher than our channel target probably. But no, it's pretty much about the same. So pretty much where that Fibonacci is. So in the future, looking at resistance around 75, if you're just using some patterns. So let's look at the CMF. I said that this needed to really start trending up. I want to look at the CMF and the RSI together. So this is kind of trending up with price. This really needs to break out of here. We need to get some upward movement. Same thing on the RSI. We need to get out of this 50 area. This is on the daily. I'm sorry. I thought this was the weekly. Let's look at the weekly. Trending down. This needs to start turning. If this starts to level off at like 0.2, that's okay. Here we're just getting, lower highs. We need to get some price movement back into this oversold area, or overbought area, I'm sorry. Because that'll show, this, once we get into the overbought area, that's more of like a momentum indication. So, that could happen. CMF is not really, it's flat. We are getting some bullish divergence, bullish hidden divergence. We have our CMF going down and our price going up. RSI is just following price. CMF and the RSI look the same on the daily, but like I said, these need to start trending up. I would say that it really needs to break this 0.2 area, 4 hour. That's starting to trend up. That's good. And then the hourly, even though we really don't, yeah, so that looks fine. We had a bounce here. There's a 9, a T sequential 9. We went a little bit lower. This was yesterday. The CMF would have it gotten you in? The RSI went oversold. Whenever we're in bear cycles, a 9 with the oversold RSI is actually a good indication of a buy. You can see it kind of here, 9, went oversold a little bit. Doesn't mean we can't retrace back down, but it has been a signal of a good entry. All right, so that's it on the CMF. Everything looks like, I'm going to say neutral again. I'm still neutral until we break out. I've been saying that for the past probably week and a half. I love this consolidation that we went into. Let's look at I want to show you the hash ribbons, if that gave us a signal. This is on the daily. As soon as this crosses, because this signal is also based off of the 10 and the 20 simple moving average, and I know that those have already crossed. So as soon as this hash rate recovers fully, it's recovered, but until this indicator starts to move, until it crosses this gray line, crosses the green line, it's not going to give us a signal to buy until that happens. So probably within the next, I would say, week. And then these have been extremely good indications to buy. You pretty much put everything in. I think it had one bad signal over the past decade, since basically like 2012 or 2013. But it's been good. And then we can look at, I know we had the pi cycle moving average, and there was a lot of attention because it's basically hit the top of the price for every cycle since the past decade. But what was different about this time is that how long in the past cycles the 111 moving average and 350, it actually spent a good amount of time above, like the orange spent a good amount of time above the 350 moving average, the way this pi cycle's calculated. So like from here, when did it cross? Right here on the 16th. The next day was the high, pretty much. And then it stayed crossed until March. So like, 3-4 months, something like that. And here, it's already starting to, it didn't, like there was no time where the 111 day and 350 day, where that 111 stayed above it. It went below it really quickly. So this cycle's definitely different. There wasn't an extended amount of time where the shorter moving average for this pi cycle indicator stayed above this longer term. So we could still get, these could diverge for a little while, and then we could still get a longer, we can get another cross maybe in another couple of months, which is in line because I still think we reached the upper end of this Mayer multiple, which is band, which is at 170. I mean, it's climbing. You know, we're here, right here. There's going to be resistance right around 64, 65, which is kind of, you know, where the upper high was. So we could reach this high and sell off. There might not be, but some resistance. But based on these bands, there's you know, you can see the resistance here, and then it finally broke. I mean, we could get here and then just break out and then go to this upper band, which is at 95,000. So we'll see how that goes. Let's look at stock to flow real quick. This website changed, still looks amazing. Stock to flow model price is at 52. We're above that right now. This is saying around August. The cross asset model, I think we're below it. It's at 109, so we could still see some big movement. The 2-week heat chart, basically heat map, we're not even, you know, we're still green. It's actually dropped down, so we could still see, you know, whenever this gets about orange, whenever it gets red, that's a big concern that we could, you know, if you use this historically with previous price action, that we're getting close to the top. I know the price models on Willy Woo's chart, the top one, which is really the one I'm using, that's at 137, so mid-cycle. I think we look okay for the week. We're on 4. There's obviously resistance here at right around 59, this upper end. I'll look at the on-balance volume. I didn't bring that up. It's pretty flat. On the weekly, it is pretty flat. And on the 4-hour, it is not. Oh, still calculating. And it's pretty flat. This needs to start trending up. And obviously right here, we need to break this area right here, this 4,400, or 44,000. 440,000, sorry. And then we'll probably get a breakout. So this looks good. We'll probably retest this area, see if we can get some buying in. The CMF needs to really trend up. It is. This looks okay. So that's Bitcoin. Not bullish, not fully bullish until we break out this channel. And then we'll see what happens at these upper ends. All right, so let's go over Doge. I had some price targets on there. This is my Bittrex chart. And we pretty much hit those. So high probability that we would go to 60, back to 60, even though we were at, you know, 73. And if I'm being honest, over the past, you know, this whole week that they were talking about Saturday Night Live, I did take some positions. I didn't make a killing. I did about 20% trading these swings, but I had to, you know, I was kind of focused in. I had to watch it to get some of these smaller price swings. I mean, the trades were hours. They were not long, you know. They were not mic just went out for a second, sorry about that. They were not you know, something I sat in them for maybe 4 hours, 5 hours max, and got out, took my profits and ran. So but yeah, so I would like to show that, you know, we went up over. This was obviously oversold. I mean, you can look at the RSI. The RSI I think was higher than it had ever. Even here, you have this bearish divergence that was happening. I think on the hourly, it was like 100. It was something ridiculous. Was it the hourly or the weekly? The weekly. It was like, what did it get to here? 97. I thought it was higher. 93. I thought I had seen it extremely overbought at one point on one of these time frames. No. Was it all the way back here? No, that's all the way in April. But you can still see, I don't know, maybe it was another asset I was looking at, but you can still see the bearish divergence here. We got the retest. I'll take this off, 60, and then we also hit it on the daily here. This 9, again, didn't get retested. Price just went up, right? There was no really stability that was brought in as far as buying. It probably showed on the CMF as well. So you have buying coming in, and then it kind of slacked off. And then even though we had, you know, buying coming in, the CMF did not go past the previous highs. It stayed low, so that's also bearish divergence. But whenever an asset sells off based on this TD sequential, it's highly likely that you get, you know, some buying coming in here. And I said this was all, whenever I did the analysis a couple days ago, I said in mid-40s is littered with support, and you can see it went down, found buyers. You could probably see it better on the hourly. Found buyers here. You can see the bullish divergence as price went down. The indicator went up. I mean, you could have bought on this 9. Yeah, you would have went down. That was actually a good bit. 14%, and then you would have rallied. You could have sold on the 9, so you could have bought on the 9. You could have bought on the 9 and then sold on the 9. That would have been 16%. So yeah, we're getting a 9, 1 to 4 candle correction, and then maybe we go higher. CMF is going down. On the 4 hour, it's also going down. So, but there's your resistance. Here's your potential channel. If this breaks below the mid 40s, 36 is most likely. Breaks below 36 is probably going to cut in half. So yeah, it hit all my targets. Let me start cleaning this up. Let's see. Okay, let me start cleaning this up. So this one got retested with the red number. This one, that worked. That was a whole buying area. I mean, you could have tried to catch the knife too if you would have believed in that and saw the CMF. I mean, I wasn't watching it, but because when did this happen? This happened at 7 o'clock in the morning. You're getting some CMF here, some bullish divergence. You could have bought it. I mean, the hourly showed you that it was there. You could have definitely bought that. You were getting some buying coming in all at that bundle, so you could have bought it. I mean, that's the indication. That was catching the knife. It was there. The TD sequential helped you. The CMF helped you. So that would have been enough to enter a position, and then you could have put a stop. Probably, if I'm looking at this, I could have put a stop right here at the low of this one. You could have put a stop if there wouldn't have been a rally. So like, you could have bought. This is a reversal candle, so maybe you could have bought here. You would have lost. Your stop would have been as much as 16% down. But hey, that's what happens whenever you're messing with a volatile asset. And then you would have, there's always secondary highs in if you think that something has reached the top. So this could be the secondary high. So like 1 for 1, 16% to lose 16%. Not greatest odds, but you could have taken the trade. Like I said, let me clean this up. This is going a little bit longer than what I wanted. So that one got retested. So that's good. We just need to see the CMF go higher. And I did say in the last video is that once the CMF closed below 0.18, I'd be expecting lower prices. We got all those lower prices. It closed at 0.16 here. We'll see if this breaks out. This needs to break out above 0.26 on the CMF. If I'm just using the CMF to trade for it to potentially go higher. If not, you could see some fade. Let's look at it on the weekly. Yeah, it's on a 9. That's an 8. That's probably the high. This is pretty flat. And the on-balance volume is probably also pretty flat. Yeah, it needs to break above this high for it to get more momentum. So I'm going to say 36 is probably still possible. And we're just watching this as it plays out with the rest of the market. So there you go, Doge. All the areas of retest that I called out happened. They could have been, with the CMF, you could have had, buy the dip and then made, say, 15 to 16% and then gotten out and seen what's happened, because I think the longer term, that's starting to collapse down. So if you get a weekly close below this low with this crossing, it's probably going to take out 36 for sure. There's going to be some support here at 25, but that breakdown brings you back to 14. So large price swings with Doge. If you want to play that market, you gotta. I mean, you gotta be cautious. So, but that's Doge, and then I said Cardano. Is there anything I can play? I can mark here on my Doge chart though before I leave. No. Weekly. We'll have to see how this plays out. So Cardano, I also said that it looked good no matter what. I was still bullish on it. Was it Bittrex I was looking at? I think it was Kraken. I went through this already. Kraken. Here we go. Where are we at? I think it's ADA. Right there. Okay, here's my chart. So I said that there would be resistance here at like 162, and there was, but we broke through it. This is good. I mean, this is bullish as could be. Let's look at the RSI. Again, we're getting this bullish divergence on the RSI. So a little bit conflicting between these. I'm going to say that we're probably in a good spot. We had the green 2, close above green 1, close above the 9. This is still an area of interest, and that we could go and retest. I'm going to take this 66 off of here because I'm just going to hide it because we broke the all-time high. Not saying that we can't go back below it, but I'm going to take it off for right now. The way I usually trade this TD sequential, once we break above the previous all-time high, it's most likely we're not going to get those lower levels. But I still think we could. That's why I'm going to keep it on there. So let's see. Did we reach anything on the 4 hour? 4 hours trending down. This actually isn't good for Cardano for the intermediate term. I think we go back here to 166. Yeah, I think we go there. And then daily, we're on a 6. We just broke. This could find some support. We can see if there's some support on the CMF. And it's also breaking down. This needs to start turning up. What about the 4 hour? Yeah, we're getting... This isn't good. We're getting... I mean, this is starting to break down, but we have bullish hidden divergence. And we have flat price with a trending down indicator. Let me... What is that? I gotta remember. That would be... That's bearish. So flat price with the oscillator going down. So like I said, there's maybe the CMF right now is not the best to go off of, because it's also giving you conflicting. It's saying that it's bullish and bearish, maybe a little bit more bearish because a hidden divergence is not as significant as a as just a regular, you know, bullish or bearish divergence in indication. So I'm going to say that this is a little bit more bearish. Doesn't mean we're longer term bearish. I still think longer term... Oh, look at this. We had a 9 and then it's retesting here. But the CMF is still trending down. I would like to see this go up. So we'll see. Maybe we have a down week. But I still think this is bullish because I still think we probably hold above this Fibonacci area. And I still think we're $2 is the intermediate target for Cardano. Okay, and then we'll go over gold and silver. I know gold opened up really good. I say really good. It opened up, you know, positive. Looks good. We closed the week good. Our moving averages are going really good. Silver could have entered your position last week. I think we're on the verge of a breakout. Let's look at... There isn't going to be any CMF on this, on the commodity. There is on the ETF, but I'm going to use... I guess I'll use on-balance volume. Oh, it's not... Oh, yeah, they don't have that data either. But they'll have RSI data. So this is trending up. This could break... Once this breakout, I think about 55, you'll probably get strong movement up. Yeah, this is looking good. Good momentum. 4 hour... We're sitting right at the resistance. I think we're good. I really used the moving averages to enter this position, so I have some resistance. Let me just look at the ETF real quick to see what it looked like on the CMF, because I want to see... It's starting to trend up. Not exactly what... Yeah, so that's good. So that's a breakout. So we're getting above prior peaks, and if we get above this peak here, 20.27, we're going to really move. And the 4 hour, we're starting to get upward momentum. So that's indication of buyers coming in. So silver looks good. Gold looks good. What's my gold to silver ratio look like? I'll look at that real quick. Oh, that looks good as well. resistance here. Once this breaks down below these, we should really start to see silver outperform gold, and it already is. I think if you looked at the last week, it closed, gold closed at 3.5% up, and silver closed at 5, almost 6%, 5.96%. So it's already outperforming, and I think it's going to really outperform. I think silver doubles within that. What did I say? Within the next, like, 6 to 8 months. So we'll see. Intermediate target is 32. Fibonacci's right there at right around 33. So, and then the last thing was Planet Fitness. I wrote something up earlier. Oh, it didn't save. So yeah, Planet Fitness. So it's kind of stuck. There's a lot of areas that the TD sequential. Let's look at the CMF. So hold on. Let me just start with the weekly. So long term, this is trending down. You had a weekly close below the prior 2 weeks low, which means you're going to start taking out these buyers. It did find support on this intermediate term moving average, but what I'm looking for, and I drew some Fibonacci's. Okay, so this is the price swing. So if I were to enter, and let's go to the hourly real quick. So if I'm on the hourly, I'm looking for a retest of this 9. I think it's likely that we're going to get it because we have an oversold RSI within maybe tomorrow or like Tuesday. So we have an overbought RSI, but my indicator's trending up, and then my CMF is also starting to trend up. So your target here is 80. So if you could get in at like 77, you would take the profits, maybe this one, right around $80, right? So like 3.8%, maybe 4%. So like 3 to 4%, right? And then you would get out and wait. I'm going to go to my 4-hour. So my 4-hour, again, there's 80. So that aligns with the hourly as well. And we can look at the CMF and the RSI there as well. Where's my CMF? Okay. This is also oversold, and we're getting a CMF that's showing bullish divergence. I would like to also see this trend up, but my CMF, which is my buyers, looks like it's coming in. So we're kind of like in a range here at like 32 and 80. So I think we see a reversal, to this 80 area tomorrow or Tuesday. This is also a reversal candle on the 6, and the 6 can be the low. Even though on the daily look, you're seeing it's still trending down. So that's indication that we're on the little bit longer term, maybe on the short term, 1 to 2 days, we see a price rally and then we continue down. Weekly, we're breaking down. And like I said, we close below the prior 2-week low. So what can I do? If I want to if I wanted to take a chance that this was the low and I'm going to reverse, then I could take a position here. And if I didn't want to take the profit here at 3 to 4%, I could say, okay, we're going to go to, and I drew this out on this right here. If I have a long-term position, so this is what I did. So I come here and I say my entries, what it closed on Friday. My target's 100, but I'm going to put a stop at, say, 75. So my risk to reward, why is this doing this? Okay, let me get rid of this real quick. I don't need all that. Okay, so the risk to reward ratio is 10 to 1. You kind of want to be in like 3 to 1 risk reward, like minimum. 1 to 1 is really not great, and 2 to 1 not so much. 3 to 1 is okay. Most people maybe are like 5 to 1. So it's like the reward's 10 to 1. If you think longer term, so you would potentially make 29.63%, but you would potentially lose 2.7%, and that's where you get your risk reward ratio. But then you could so that would be if I wanted to take a longer term position, and then you could weigh if that's acceptable for you. But what I really think is going to happen is I think we're going to rally. So I would change this, right? So I think we're going to rally to like 80. And then I would put a stop at 75. And my risk reward there goes, it's like 1-to-1. So it goes down tremendously. And where am I getting this stop of like 75? So I wouldn't want to put my stop and get out of the area like 32, because then that means I could potentially be selling the bottom. What I'm looking at would be right here. So I use the hourly because this is kind of like I'm trading on a shorter term time frame. So I also want to use stops on a shorter term time frame. And what I'm looking at is right here. So the low is 76. 75 would give me a little bit of wiggle room, but I could technically, if price breaks down, I'm trying to account for maybe like a wick. So here's the one, and then this would be, so like if price wicked down on, so like I'm giving myself 1.5% like wiggle room. But then I could also use what's called the average true range to see what the price swings are on the hourly, and they're about 93%. I mean 93 cents. So if I'm here where my price entry was, or where the low is, 76. If I chose 76, what is this price movement? How much? What's the amount? So this is $1.24. So we're already above the average true range. So if we see a move larger than 93%, it's above what the average is right now. So it's highly likely that this is going to stop going down, and maybe it's finding an area that's going to bounce, and that this is basically saying my volatility is going to increase, and the volatility is going to increase for more downside selling. So this gives me some wiggle room. I'm using my TD sequential on the short term because this is going to give me this area right here. Should give me an area of resistance, and I'm giving myself 1.5% wiggle room. If it breaks down below 75, I would say if it breaks down and doesn't hold on the hourly above 76, you're going to go to 72.84. But this gives me some wiggle room, and then maybe I can reassess here at 72.84. Is this an area where I want to, this is the bottom, and I want to re-enter if I really, really, for some reason, wanted to trade Planet Fitness. But right now, I think we're going more downside. I wouldn't really go any long-term. I wouldn't actually take a position in this. 30% sounds amazing, but the time frame there could be, it's probably a long time. I mean, if I'm going to get that 30%, unless we rally another 2 months. We're on a 7. You can see that there was some selling here. Maybe the 8 and the 9. Maybe next month, June and July, we see some upward movement. I usually don't trade earnings, but there's an earnings call in, that already happened. So there's another one in August. I mean, I think we're going to see some more selling. So that what I just showed is a possible way of how I would potentially trade Planet Fitness in the intermediate, say this week. But longer term, I'm not trying to enter this to take a longer position, because I do think this $100 area is not likely. What I do think is what's likely is a rally to 80, failure, and then we go to 72, and then we reassess at 72, because there you're losing a lot of support, and this whole area here is fair game, and potentially all the way down to 57. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely went longer, but I've been sectioning off the videos so that you can fast forward to areas that you're interested in. You don't have to watch the whole video. If you watch the whole video, great. If you don't, hopefully I'm covering an asset that you're interested in. And maybe you're, maybe this is a little inspiring to try to pick up TA and learn and kind of find your own way through this. But appreciate it, and thanks for watching.